Hey, I want to welcome everybody. Today's video is about how we take all of this and turn it into this. You know, we've been asked to create a stereo playback rig, and so we're gonna take a lot of the things that you've been learning in our Knowledge Basic videos, and now we're gonna put it into a system. And we decided to build the system in the studio along with you. My name is Bruce Gilson, and I am excited to be able to share this with you. This has a whole lot of requirements and moving pieces, and we selected some specific things for very unique reasons and purposes. We've got a couple of laptops here for primary and backup. We've got a switcher. We're gonna be using an iPad in a unique way for not only control, but we can also use it for multi-viewer, which is kind of a cool thing. So that's why it's gonna have a stand that says up top. We're gonna be able to put it all inside of a road case, and it's gonna be able to tour North America and Europe. And so make sure you pay attention to some of these details as we begin to put it together. But the real star of this show is hopefully gonna be inside this box. It's a rack created by Circle 3 Designs. Now, we picked this rack, we paid for it, and then after we paid for it, they reached out to us and they said, hey, if you ever wanna partner on social media, let us know. We're excited to have them as a partner in this video, but this is gonna be my honest review. They're currently not a sponsor. We're gonna find out what we think about it, and I'm gonna tell you why we picked it. But before I get into that, I gotta clear my desk so that I can open this box. Well, if you have ever either had the aspirations to tour with technology, or if you ever toured with technology, you know that there's always a balance of how much tour tech can you travel with versus how much personal luggage you can travel with. So a lot of rigs are getting smaller and smaller, making them easier to travel with. And that's why we've selected this by Circle 3 Design. So inside of this case, which is a Pelican Air, it's extremely light. It can travel on any airline, very rugged. It's gonna last a long time, but inside of here, there is a equipment rack. And this equipment rack is extremely modular. There are all kinds of different options inside this rack. And this is why we selected this rack online as we were doing our research, because if you can't tell, this right here is all punch outs for you to be able to do custom plate type stuff, to put in Neutrik connectors and Cat 6 and SDI, and you'll see how we build some of that stuff out. We also have modular rack rails on this thing, which is pretty cool, so we can move those to kind of fit the depth of whatever technology we want to put inside of here. And then the thing that I'm really the most excited about is that this top piece actually comes off so that I can get my hands on the inside and build it from the top and then throw this top back onto it. So hopefully it's as fun of a build as I think it's gonna be. So that's what's inside the case. Let's see what's inside this box here. Inside the box, there's a little instruction manual that kind of gives you some ideas of how you can build this out. Okay, Play Audio 12 is a real common device. We're not putting it in this rig, but they've given you some mounting instructions for really common devices that you would travel with playback rigs. So that's kind of cool to get information. And then they provided a little toolkit, and not only a little toolkit, but there's also some screws, some Allen wrenches. So we'll see if that comes in handy with what we've got. We've already got our own tools, but we'll see how that all comes together. Now, once you were finished, you're not gonna keep this with it. Maybe you send the tools with it, but the cool part is once we get this whole thing built out, it just fits right back inside of here. Boom, tuck in your cables, close your lid, lock it, and you roll away through the airport or wherever you need to go. So I want to give a real quick first impression. There are rubber feet on the bottom of here. And when it came out of the Pelican case, 2 of the rubber feet had fallen off. There's a third one that's fallen off that I can't find. These 2, when they came off, they stuck to each other, and I had to use an X-Acto knife to kind of pull them apart. And I thought that I would just throw them back on, but now I'm missing this one. It's possible that I might completely remove them and then there is no feet, which doesn't necessarily bother me too much. Whenever I'm touring with rigs and stuff, it's real common. I'll pull it out of my road case and then I'll set it on a desk. And but right now, obviously I couldn't put it on the desk because it doesn't sit level. I would probably pull them off. I think that's what we're gonna end up doing. Other first impressions, I actually kind of wish that I would have done maybe a little bit more research or understood their product better. And so if you're watching this video, you get the opportunity of understanding their product better, because I didn't fully understand that all of these holes can be chassis mounted adapters. So we actually ordered a custom plate for it. I'm not saying a custom plate is a bad idea. We've got it, it's gonna be engraved. It's gonna look real nice. That'll match the gear that's inside of the rack. But the more I mess with it, the more I think that that's a really cool feature that they thought through. And just the simple fact that they put mounting screws in a lot of different locations, that's really cool too. It's kind of a powder coated metal, which is, all in all, it feels nice. We've done a few of these. This is the first time we've used Circle 3 designs. And we've used other products. And I mean, this is real nice. This is real great. So I'm looking forward to see how it comes together. All right, so here we are. We have the rig set up for the first time. We've been testing the ins and outs and making sure that everything that we did inside works properly. And I just want to share it with you. This is pretty exciting. So we've got our primary computer over here. We got our backup computer. We have things labeled so that they're really easy for the operator to plug in. And then over here inside of our constellation, we currently have our primary source. If we hit the cut button, our secondary source is working. We've got that all sending off to a display monitor here inside of our studio where we can test things, make sure that they work. And if you remember, we're calling this the stereo playback rig. It's the stereo playback rig because it has stereo audio. So right now I'm looking at primary, but I mentioned that there's a thing called, we got audio coming out, so we know that our audio works good, which is exciting. We've also tested audio on our backup. We can do the same thing. Oh, that's the primary. Here comes backup. NL8, guess what? Has 8 conductors. So we know that all that's working. The client's iPad, they're gonna set up the Orion app later on their own once they get their iTunes set up into that. But let me talk about a couple of other little features inside of this. Come on around the back here. We have a large power adapter, so that power whip that we talked about is put in here. That whip creates courtesy power for our laptops, for our iPad to plug into, We also have some power adapters for the operator if they're gonna charge their own personal cell phone, or maybe they're gonna use their laptop or whatever. They have some access to power through all of that. So the cool thing is you're an operator on your rider, you just put, hey, I need one 20 amp dedicated circuit at front of house, and then boom, plug in your whole thing and you can power your entire station. We also went ahead and labeled stuff with, color coordinated. This is like a little bit of a touring tip. Sometimes when you're touring and you go for load-in, you're not fresh. You're not thinking 100% clearly if you know what I'm going with. So by just making really simple color coordinated adapters, while the cords would work in any of the computer, it kind of cuts out some of the thinking. So we've done that for the operator. Everything's labeled on the back. So this has been a fun build. I hope that you have enjoyed the build. I hope that you've enjoyed the time with us. This is our first build project in the studio, but I think we're gonna do more. So if this is content that you enjoy, or you just wanna learn how to actually connect everything, and we've got videos that teach you everything that we did inside this rig. And if that's something you wanna know, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and we're gonna keep you up to date, and we'll see you on the next one.